Taylor, what are the early impressions of Nikola Topic here? Obviously not going to be a factor this season, but he was mentioned in the same breath as top 5 pick candidates before he had that ACL injury. So what do you sort of make of just his game? Like, what are just early impressions, having obviously not seen him and definitely not going to see him this year, probably in the Thunder uniform?
So Nick and I like to get into the weeds of the NBA draft pretty early. So we scouted him a little bit. I will obviously say that Nick did a lot more legwork there. And then all of us collectively, obviously, once they picked him, we looked at a lot of film and just kind of broke down his game. And the thing that stands out the most to me about Topic is he's an elite ball handler, playmaker, but his ability to get to the rim is something that's incredibly impressive. It's very different than Josh Giddey in regards to he's just very athletic and is able to, he's a little more explosive, where Josh was a little more the kind of the herky-jerky, the smooth, like utilizing his length to get to the rim. Topic is somebody who's just explosive off the dribble, coming off the pick and roll, attacks the rim immediately. That allows him to kick out to shooters and create for other teammates, but he's also a great scorer around the rim. He showed improvements with the three-point shot. This is kind of a theme. You know, Jacob talked about the Thunder 1.0 is what we are kind of calling it now, right? Where you had Russ and KD, but then you drafted these freak athletes and hope that you could develop them into shooters. Now it's like you have these great high IQ players, but they also need to develop into shooters. And Topic kind of falls into that category, but he's shown a lot more promise, especially when you compare him to Josh Giddey. When Josh Giddey was playing in the NBL as a draft prospect in comparison to Topic overseas, I think Topic has a little more ability there. And I think he's just going to be another one of those players who obviously has the size in terms of height and his wingspan that's going to be able to come out and not only lead second and third units, if you want to call him that, as a lead ball handler and primary creator, but also play off ball with some of these guys like Dub and Shea. And that's the ultimate goal.
To jump back in here real quick, we started off kind of off the rails. We've had like 40 minutes of legitimate basketball talk, so it's time to take a break real quick. Dan, do you know?
I know exactly where you're going.
What Nikola Topic in one of these, like, I don't know if the NBA did it or if it was like a media company that did it, but they did one of those like rapid fire questions with the rookies. And they asked Topic what his favorite basketball movie is. Do you know what his answer was?
I have zero idea.
You got to guess. Take a guess. You have to.
I hope it's not Thunderstruck.
No, that's a
good guess. It was not. I'll give you one more guess, Dan.
What decade how far back we going?
Early 2000s.
And saying in our lifetime is like all basketball movies. I don't know. Just what's a typical answer for a favorite basketball movie?
Hoosiers?
Do you have one? Hoosiers? Okay, that's another good guess. This man, in a very Eastern European accent, did not miss a beat. Didn't think, didn't wait, just fired off.
No smile.
Air Bud. It was best basketball movie. Air Bud. It's just that fast.
Didn't crack a smile.
Incredible.
Huge neck and all.
Brother is a diehard Air Bud fan. How can you not love him?
Might be a multi-sport athlete then too, right? Didn't Air Bud do soccer, football? What else he do?
Air Bud did everything. I think he went to space at one point in time.
No, did he? I didn't see that one. Holy crap.
Isn't that like the space buddies are like all of Air Bud's offspring going into space? I don't know.
Jacob, any early impressions of Dillon Jones other than we will probably never predict how his next 3-point attempt is going to be missed?
Dillon Jones just feels like a Presti pet project. Like they apparently wanted him last draft in the second round, but Dillon decided to go back to school at Weber State, stay another year, and bet on himself to go first round, which he did. The Thunder traded 5 second-round picks to move up to get him. Big dude, great feel, plays with the ball in his hands, not super athletic, but can make every pass, has a really nice polished offensive game, is a competitor. This is like the kind of, I call them the Presti pet projects. Holy shit. Say that 3 times fast. The Presti pet projects, because we've seen a series of guys in this mold that they have taken. None of them have panned out so far. But maybe Dillon Jones will be the one. The most recent one was Keontae Johnson out of Kansas State, who is now with Thunder East, a.k.a. the Charlotte Hornets. They keep going for like these stockier, like thick boy defender, can play with the ball in their hands, like jumbo size playmakers. Dillon Jones is the next in that line. They're hoping that time 3, 4. I mean, this goes all the way back to Deontay Burton was this archetype as well, right? I bet you haven't heard that name in a while. They have this, for some reason, that's an archetype that they like. They haven't struck gold yet, but eventually they will find their Draymond Green. I'm convinced of it.
I can't refute you. I think the Thunder have kind of just negated the concept of hyperbole, so I'll roll
That
with
is
it.
true. Hey, Dillon Jones is like my one draft pick I nailed in evaluation ever. I'm like 1 for 200 now, but I drilled this one.
He's like a Josh Giddey jump shot.
Yes, that's right.
They really would they trade 5 seconds to get him? I mean, they got them to spare, but like, so they clearly really wanted him.
Well,
they also have so many seconds they can never pick all of them ever. I mean, they can make 4 G League teams with the second round picks that they have.
Yep.
So they had to go somewhere eventually, right?
They promised that they were going to take him, or they told him they were going to take him in that second round, where they drafted a similar archetype in Keontae Johnson. It's no coincidence they picked him there, but Dillon Jones bet on himself and he wanted to be a first round pick. And we saw him at Weber State. And sure enough, the Thunder traded up for him and shipped, or didn't really ship Keontae off, but ended up cutting Keontae because Dillon Jones was their guy that draft.
Rest assured, I did watch some Ajay Mitchell film in advance of this podcast, and he looks like, to me, if TJ McConnell played with a moral compass. What are our early impressions of him? This one's
I love that.
Jacob.
Yeah, that's fun. He's a fun player, man. He, again, really good feel, point guard, has a little bit of nasty to him, is very competitive, just continues to fit the bill of what they are looking for. A lot of people said that they reached for Dillon Jones. I'm not a huge draft guy. I don't get deep in the weeds because I fall in love with somebody and then the Thunder don't take them and then I'm pissed off for the rest of eternity. Shout out Jarris Walker, forever in my heart. Eventually,
you may have dodged a freight train on that one. So
apparently they don't like him very much. They keep just taking more 4s and 5s and not giving my man.
They view him as a wing, and I cannot wait to talk to Caitlin Cooper about this.
Yes.
But I don't see it. Like, I don't see him as a wing, and I don't want to say I don't know what the Pacers are doing, but the way they view him seems very curious to me, but I'm sure she will enlighten me in some respects.
Agreed.
Caitlin's
totally
the
agree.
best.
And I think the Thunder are doing okay without him. Just like,
for sure.
It might be a little all right.
But yeah, a lot of people said Ajay Mitchell was like high value for the pick that they got him at in the second round. They climbed that second day draft board pretty significantly to get there. They didn't have a second rounder. They traded Lindy Waters, and then they traded that pick to move up, and then that pick to move up. I think they moved up 2 or 3 times. So they had very clearly like zeroed in on him in that second round. And early results from watching him at Summer League, he seems like a fun player. He'll get a lot of G League burn this year.
Oh, he's not going to be like closing games for no.
Maybe he'll get some time over Lou Dort, but the guard glut, as you dubbed it, Dan, is a little too thick, I think, for AJ to get through.